This is overwater analysis of Janelle's breaststroke. So the first thing we notice is that when she enters the water, her knees bend up just a little bit behind her. So the reason that we want to avoid this, when we hit the water here, we want to make sure our body is fully extended and locked out all the way through to our ankles and toes. The reason for this is when we get to this point and our knees have bent up behind us, that acts as a shock absorber, which prevents us from carrying our full momentum off of the start into the water. So anytime our knees bend, not only are we decreasing the streamline with which we enter the water, but we're also taking away from our maximum velocity that we can achieve off of the start. Janelle has very good breaststroke pull-out timing. We want to see her consider when she gets to this point in the kick, right after she takes that dolphin kick, I'd like to see her take that pull a little bit sooner. We can see she loses just a little bit too much speed after this dolphin kick before she takes the pull out. Additionally, after she kicks herself up for the surface, she can start that first stroke a little sooner to maintain her top speed. She does a good job of really driving forward with her hips. But what we can see here is that she can improve her breaststroke timing. So when she gets to this point in the stroke where her hands start to go forward, we see that she receives negative resistance from her hands and her legs, preventing her forward momentum from engaging as she extends the kick. So what we want to see is when her arms are just beginning to move forward, we want to have our heels all the way up to our backside so that we can kick our arms forward and extend and stretch out into our long streamline at the top of the stroke. She does a good job of really driving with her hips, but she brings her head up a little high. She doesn't need to bring her head up quite that high. Part of the reason that she's doing that is she really is trying to use her chin to force her hips up by driving it back down. But we see in this last stroke into the wall, she does a good job of not dropping that chin, and she's just as effective. Much rather see her swim like that down the pool. Alright, coming in for this turn, she comes in, touches nice with two hands, but we can see she really climbs up high out of the wall, or out of the water rather, when she hits the wall. One way we can avoid this is make sure we touch lower on the wall so we can't grab the wall and push ourselves up. Another thing I want her to think about is making sure she doesn't swing out wide to the side. She does an excellent job of making sure that she keeps her eyes on this hand on the wall right here, but we want to make sure that she comes in and out on the same straight line that we want her to go out on the same straight line that she comes in. She has very good ankle flexibility and knee flexibility. I really like to see her snap the very last part of that kick together. Improving her timing with the load and shoot drill is really going to help her overall efficiency and power, and it's also going to help her really develop to the next level as a breaststroker. This is underwater analysis of Janelle's breaststroke. We can see that Janelle has very good technique on her breaststroke pullout. What we would like to see her do is pull herself up a little bit closer to the surface on the pull so she doesn't get quite so vertical on the pullout. As we can see, by the time she has to come up on a very steep angle for this pullout. And that's causing her a lot of resistance in that last couple seconds before she breaks the surface. Or tenths of a second, rather. Janelle has pretty good breaststroke timing. So what I look for in breaststroke timing is when our hands get to the point where they're just about to start moving forward right here, we want to see our feet almost all the way up against our hips. So we can see Janelle's timing is very good. She has very little inefficiency in her stroke. This way, when she gets her hands moving forward, she can kick them forward into that glide. What we really don't want to see is this part of the breaststroke right here, where our arms and feet are moving forward at the same time. So that's what we're concerned about as far as eliminating the inefficiency in our breaststroke, and we can improve this by using the load and shoot drill. One thing Janelle can work on is trying to make sure that she brings her knees a little more hydrodynamically up to her stomach. Right now we can see that she's very vertical with her legs this way, which is causing her a lot of drag and inefficiency. What she can do to improve this is make sure that she turns her knees out wide, turns her ankles, and picks her feet up a little bit higher so that her feet, move her knees up higher so that her feet are closer to the surface of the water. We really like to see her think about snapping those heels and feet together. That's going to increase her explosion and to power into the glide of her stroke. This was a better angle for the breakout after the pullout. We want to try to get closer to this on the first 25 in the start as well. Janelle does a good job of keeping her eyes on the bottom of the pool, and she doesn't move her neck that much, which is very important for maintaining that streamlined body position with her head to the body.